Some mysteries begin with a crime scene. Others begin with a confession. This one began with a kite. On an August afternoon in 1966, an 18-year-old boy climbed a hill in Brazil, hoping to enjoy the wind. Instead, he found two bodies. They weren't hidden. They weren't buried. They were simply lying side by side, as though they had chosen that exact spot to die. Tonight, we're going to talk about one of Brazil's most enduring, unsolved mysteries. Two electronics technicians climbed a hill carrying homemade metal masks, followed a strange set of written instructions, and were never seen alive again. Welcome to the podcast, You Can't Unhear. The date was August 20th, 1966. The location was Vintém Hill, overlooking the city of Rio de Janeiro. While flying his kite, the teenager noticed a foul smell drifting through the brush. Curious, he followed it. Only a short distance away, he discovered two men lying motionless in the grass. Police would later identify them as Miguel José Viana and Manuel Pereira da Cruz, both electronics technicians in their 30s from the nearby city of Campos dos Goitacazes. At first glance, the scene made almost no sense. Neither man appeared to have been attacked. There were no signs of a struggle, no defensive wounds, no blood. They were dressed in matching formal suits beneath waterproof raincoats. And covering each of their eyes was a handmade mask cut from sheets of lead. The masks had no eye holes, almost as if they weren't meant to help someone see, but to shield them from something. Nearby, investigators found several ordinary items: two damp towels, a plastic bag, an empty bottle, cash that hadn't been stolen, a receipt from earlier that day, and a small notebook. Inside that notebook was a message that would make the case famous around the world. It read, 4:30 p.m, be at the designated location. 6:30 p.m, swallow the capsule. After the effects, protect with metal. Wait for the signal. No names, no explanation, just instructions. Unfortunately, the investigation suffered an early setback. Heavy rain delayed the recovery of the bodies, and by the time an autopsy was performed, decomposition had advanced too far to determine a precise cause of death. Poison was suspected, but never confirmed. The official cause remained undetermined. One of the most important pieces of the puzzle had already been lost. Police traced the men's final movements. 3 days earlier, they had left home, telling their families they were traveling to purchase a used car. Instead, they bought raincoats and towels before making their way toward Vintém Hill. Employees at a local bar later remembered the pair appearing unusually nervous. They repeatedly checked their watches, as if they were trying very hard not to miss an appointment. Investigators then searched the men's workshop. Inside, they discovered electrical equipment, radio components, and scraps of lead identical to those used to make the eye masks. But there was something else. Books. Not about electronics, about spiritualism. Several passages discussing brilliant lights, protective masks, and communication with higher beings had been highlighted. Friends and relatives explained that Miguel and Manuel had recently become fascinated by attempts to contact extraterrestrial life through homemade electronic devices. Neighbours even recalled hearing loud explosions coming from the workshop during their experiments. Before long, the theories began. One of the most famous involved unidentified flying objects. Residents had long claimed strange lights occasionally appeared above Vintém Hill. One witness, Gracinda Barbosa, later reported seeing a glowing orange object hovering over the hill that same evening, surrounded by fiery streaks before disappearing in a bright blue flash. To believers, it seemed impossible to ignore. Perhaps the two technicians thought they were preparing for contact with something not of this world. Perhaps the lead masks were meant to protect their eyes from an intense light. And perhaps they were waiting for the signal mentioned in the notebook. Another theory pointed toward fraud. A local criminal claimed he had tricked the men by selling them poisonous capsules while pretending they would help with their experiments. But investigators quickly discovered he had been in jail when the incident occurred. His confession collapsed almost immediately. The simplest explanation is also one of the hardest to prove. Perhaps Miguel and Manuel willingly swallowed an unknown substance as part of an experiment they believed would allow them to communicate with extraterrestrials or enter a higher state of consciousness. If so, the capsules may have killed them before anything else happened. Without toxicology evidence, no one can say for certain. Nearly 60 years have passed. The lead masks remain. The handwritten instructions remain. The strange witness accounts remain. But the answers never came. Were two intelligent technicians conducting one final experiment? Did they place their trust in the wrong person? Or were they chasing an idea so extraordinary that they ignored the danger standing right in front of them? We may never know. Thank you for joining me tonight. Don't forget to follow the podcast, because every day we uncover another true story where the evidence is real, the mystery is enduring, and the truth remains just out of reach. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast, You Can't Unhear.